The M. biceps femoris flexes the knee and extends the hip. The M. quadriceps femoris has four heads: the vastus lateralis, vastus intermedius, vastus medialis, and the rectus femoris. They extend the knee and stabilize the patella. The rectus femoris also flexes the hip. The M. tensor fascia lata stabilizes the extended hip.
Both the semitendinosus and the semimembranosus flex the knee and extend the hip.
The M. gracilis adducts the hip and flexes the knee. The M. adductor adducts the hind leg.
The M. gastrocnemius originates at the caudal aspect of the femoral condyles, inserts into the tuber calcanei, and flexes the leg and foot.
The M. ellipsoris originates at the ventral aspects of lumbar vertebrae. Ilium and sacrum inserts into a lesser trochanter of the femur.
The central nervous system includes the brain and spinal cord.
The brainstem is composed of the cerebrum, cerebellum, brainstem, and the ventricles. The cerebrum is divided into the left and right hemispheres and controls all voluntary actions. The cerebellum calibrates precise movements and is related to balance. The brainstem relays information between the body and the rest of the brain and is involved with consciousness and awareness.
The meninges are coverings of the brain. From deep to superficial, they are the pia mater, arachnoid mater, and dura mater. The sulci are grooves in the cerebral cortex, and the gyri are ridges in the cerebral cortex.
The ethmoid bone is where olfactory nerves pass through to hit the olfactory bulb. The ethmoid conchae are turbinate bones covered in mucus, which humidify inhaled air. The sinuses are moist, hollow spaces connected to the nasal passages.
The spinal cord contains the central canal funiculi, which contain neuronal white matter tracts and horns.
The brachial plexus and lumbosacral plexus are junctions of various nerves communicating with the thoracic and pelvic limbs respectively.
The vestibule is located between the lips and the teeth. The pharynx is a junction leading to both the esophagus and the trachea, and the eustachian tube connects the inner ear to the pharynx. The glottis is the opening of the trachea, and when food is swallowed, the epiglottic cartilage covers it.
The hyoid apparatus is composed of lingual process, basihyoid, thyrohyoid, ceratohyoid, and stylohyoid, and aids in swallowing.
The thyroid cartilage protects the vocal cords. The arynoid cartilage allows vocal ligaments to tense or relax. The cricoid cartilage encircles the larynx, and the trachea, composed of tracheal rings, annular ligaments, and the trachealis, connects the pharynx and lungs.
The trachea leads to the principal bronchi, which are connected by the carina.
The diaphragm separates the thoracic and abdominal cavity and has three holes: the esophageal hiatus, where the esophagus passes through, the vena cava foramen, where the vena cava of the heart passes through, and the aortic hiatus, where the aorta passes through. The external and internal intercostal muscles connect the ribs.
Aligns the thoracic cavity and surrounds the lungs. The lungs have four lobes on the right side: the apical, cardiac, diaphragmatic, and accessory lobes, and three lobes on the left, called the cranial, middle, and caudal lobes.
The apex is the tip of the heart. The heart is covered with pericardial sac, which is filled with pericardial fluid. The fluid decreases friction in the heart as it beats. Coronary arteries deliver oxygen and blood to the cardiac muscles. Blood enters the right atrium through the cranial and caudal vena cava and the left atrium through the pulmonary veins. It is pumped out from the right ventricle through the pulmonary artery and the left ventricle through the aorta. The chordae tendinate attach to the papillary muscles of the ventricles to the tricuspid and bicuspid valves to prevent inversion.
The semilunar valves prevent backflow of blood. The pulmonary trunk branches into the right and left pulmonary arteries. The pulmonary veins bring oxygenated blood to the left atrium.
The aortic arch is a portion of the main artery that bends between the ascending and descending aorta. The ligamentum arteriosum is a regressed form of the ductus arteriosus, which held the pulmonary trunk to the aorta.
The brachiocephalic trunk supplies blood to the tissues of brain and head.
Weeds out old red blood cells, stores blood, and helps the immune system. The celiac and mesenteric arteries both arise from the abdominal aorta. Circulation involves the hepatic artery, hepatic portal, and hepatic veins. Deoxygenated blood from the gut and spleen go through the hepatic portal vein to the liver, then out through the hepatic vein to the vena cava. Blood is reoxygenated, pumped out from the aorta, and supplied to the liver through the hepatic artery.
The oral cavity contains the dental pad, palatal rugae, pipsodont teeth, cheek papillae, and the tongue, which has fungiform, filiform, conical, and valate papillae. The fungiform and valate papillae contain taste.
created using Powtoon.